about Felicity Afianyo, a duty forecaster at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Now, you say weather pattern no assessor pa, and now no memory that said you so one cry no. Na young one and draw no pa ko a homachi and a stars here in so no toy pa a homachi around 5:30 and the who say a real agility and what you know so no essence so emunomuna biem I mean kwa homani so na yene Ghana metro for any encomo Felicity to make a good morning for saying
good morning Yamina Dome.
Very well, yeah, that's the side of place. But first of all, my NTS here, the consistent rainfall pattern, as I say, who especially in the month of April, I confess to toy at the Abba.
Every year has variations in terms of the rainfall pattern. So 2022 so showing its variations. And then by the end of the season, we will be able to tell you more about the characteristics and the things that have contributed to it. You remember during our signal forecast that we released, we said that some portions of the country will have a late onset. And we observed that over Greater Accra and parts of my region. The whole of March, there wasn't any much rain. And then the April rather shifted to April and it's raining. So March, April, yes, we anticipate rain. But then the frequency at rain, that is something that is a little bit abnormal, which we've captured in our seasonal forecast. You have certain parameters that we look out for. So if these are not in place, then you can't have the norms for season that we do, and definitely that is what we are seeing.
But with your pattern that we know Senka early birds, best start in May, June, July, sometimes in August. You also experience some level of rainfalls. But we know about 2 and per your prediction and projection for the year 2022. No, it was meant to happen as such.
It was meant to happen as such because the rains, once they start, the volume, the intensity varies. We have severe intensity, moderate to severe, and basically that is what we are seeing because we have enough energy. The sun is there for us. So once the air heated, the conditions are favorable, it pours the rain down. And then we monitored it also with something we call imaginary intertropical boundaries, like a zone where we have these thunder clouds forming. So wherever they reach, you have the thunder clouds forming and then affecting the area. So gradually they will be pushing. As they push further north into Burkina Faso, then we realize that the thunder and then those other things will cease. That's when we are having the monsoonal type of rain, the June type of rain. It will be raining quickly, then it will rain and then it will stop. You may not hear anything like thunder, anything like a strong wind. But then as we have the sun with us, definitely we will be experiencing thunder and lightning and at times damaging wind.
Okay, but for how long is this going to last?
How long
are we to experience the rainfalls till we enter the major season, like as in from May to July, where we know it is at the peak of rainfall?
Yeah, we are in the season. This is the start of the major season, so definitely we will be experiencing it up to May thereabout. If conditions remain the same, we will be having this type of rain. And at times the intensity will be lower, at times it will be a little bit higher. And then by June, it will tone down. And then while we are getting the flash here and there, the volume at which it's coming, then most of the active systems are just cruising over the land area. So that is why the volume is very, very high. That's why we are having all this flash. The ground is yet to be saturated. When the ground is saturated, that is when you have a stagnated waters here and there. So it's something we are also monitoring at our unit to see that we'll be able to inform you ahead of time.
But this one looks as if it's a part away from the normal season that we know. What is actually contributing to this? Because Ghanaians feel they are experiencing early rainfalls.
I may bet to differ and I may bet to say yes, their observations are right. because some years get the rain in January. Some start in February, where we tag them as early rains.
Okay.
We have some starting in March and some in April, May. So we tag them as the late onset rainy season. So this year, 2022, that is the format that is taking late onset. So those days that we normally get one heavy rain, then it takes us another 7 days before we get. This year was different. It was not like that. At least I think we are getting it every other day or every 2 days. That's what we are getting. And that has been a constant to us. And we are still going back to our drawing table to look into it and see how the future will be, because we don't want the farmers to be disappointed.
Yes, that is the major reason, because if someone is actually considering the rain patterns to equally advise himself when to grow and when to harvest, then it means that they are going to have a shift of the usual routine they do experience.
Yeah, that has been a concern to us also. So we are going back to our forecast tools to recheck very well, because the start is okay for them, but then the continuation, when the crops start fruiting and they need the rain, will the rain be there? That's the challenge that we are having now, and we are going back to look into it, because we are anticipating almost 18 days dry spell within the season. So we want to go back and recheck so that we can advise them on what to do when that time comes.
Okay, but on the other hand, the intensity of the rain, do we classify this as heavy rainfall? Because it doesn't seem as if this one has some sort of shallow kind of rainfall. It rains heavily, even on Saturday and then yesterday.
Yeah, these ones are not shallow. These are deep convective system that has formed right away from the surface up to the upper level. So we can't call it a shallow. And you could see that it has stagnated. It takes long for it to release everything before moving over this war and then later into the Atlantic Ocean to go and develop and affect resilience of the South America continent. So it's when you want to describe our interpretation, we will normally give it moderate or heavy, or moderate or severe, and that is what we use to describe it, depending on the volume that is coming.
So what it means is that Accra and then certain areas within Ghana should expect a lot of flooding this year, right?
Not a lot, depending. It has a condition attached to it.
Okay, let me understand that condition.
Yeah, if the ground gets saturated, yes, and the volume that is coming is moderate or heavy, then we will have the flash flood here and there. Then secondly, if we have the volume that is coming per minute is higher, then yes, flash flood will be there. Then if our gutters remain choked, the runoff waters are not getting way to go, yes, we will have the flash flood disturbing us. So these are the conditions that we have in place. But for now, since we started, the ground is not saturated yet, but the volume that is coming is what is causing all this, and we have most of the system tracking over the sea. So the low-lying areas are being affected. But then if the trend continues, then there's a danger, which we are also still looking into to make sure that we get it. So if the need arises, then they have to relocate for the time being until the season is over.
On the other hand, it seems as if these particular ones we have experienced, especially on Saturday and then yesterday, was some sort of unexpected rainfall. You didn't see the clouds forming to be very heavy and dark as you may see usually. It just came unexpectedly.
Hey, that is to you, but to us it's not unexpectedly. And that is why we want you guys to come on board so that we can walk you through the process. As we speak, since yesterday, there is a system over Cameroon, over the northern portions of Cameroon. At this morning, it has shifted to the southern portion and is doing the south-westward progression. So we are monitoring to take between 24 to 36 hours to get to us. So we'll be monitoring it. If conditions remain favorable, then we are going to get it tomorrow or Thursday. You understand? So we are always in the known, and we are now predicting 1 week 2 weeks, 1 month. So it can never be unexpected. To you, it's unexpected because today is bright and sunny with some high clouds in the sky. And then I'm telling you that there is a system over Cameroon. But to you, you have no idea, but we have the idea. But then we have nobody to take the information to the public so that you'll be aware that, okay, in the next 24 hours, I have to start getting myself ready. And then today, too, we are anticipating localized system. That is a rain that will form within Ghana because of the mountains and the hills that we have. Okay, so we'll have this pop-out that will form. And at times, this system will come together and then move to the other parts of the country. Do you understand it?
Yeah.
So, then the system appears to you that it's sudden because the moving system, as a car or a plane is flying, it flies over boundaries. Just before people get to know that, okay, is there, then within a twinkle of an eye, it flies over you and then you forget about it. This type of what we experienced and yesterday, that's the type of system that we have. And the one I'm talking about in Cameroon is also having that same characteristic. So all of a sudden you see that it will start coming in, then boom, then the whole sky is covered, then it starts raining, as it may not produce any rain, just cloudiness, and then move and then reactivate over some other countries. So it's not a sudden, and it's not taking us by surprise. We have staff that are working 24/7. We don't sleep. As some are sleeping, some are working. We do night shift. Every hour you go out, go and take your observation. And we have the staff scattered across the country. Okay, all the 60 regions. We have 22 synoptic stations, and then we have 1-man stations running into 300 and then 400 stations that take the readings every hour and then every 24 hours. So we are up to the task. It's just that we want you guys to also come on board, a government to do more for us so that we will also do more for Madagascar.
Okay, but in clear language terms, in Kumasi, in Greater Accra, in Western Takrade, Sunyane, and then, our major capital cities, regional and capital cities. Are we to expect the rains, especially in Accra and then Kumasi, today?
As for Kumasi today, there is a 60% chance of them getting a rain today in the late afternoon to evening hours if conditions remain the same. For Greater Accra, the system that is over Cameroon is likely to induce cloudiness also late afternoon to the evening hours. If not, tomorrow to Thursday, yes, they should expect rain. So for the north, yes, we have some percentage, that's a 40% chance of them getting rain, especially around the Tamale and then Wa area. Takrady, yes, they are in the more of a low distance, so they will also be getting rain today, but then the intensity is what we'll communicate to them when we are certain on it.
Okay. We'll come back to you and then to receive further briefing on the turns that comes on later. I'm very grateful for your time this morning.
I'm also very grateful, and I will wish that every morning you could be calling for the forecast, or every evening we could. I'll also add you to our WhatsApp platform so you pick it there and then you read it out to your listeners.
All right. I'm grateful. Felicity Anna Meneno at the Encomono. Say, one more day, 2 hours, I want to mean Jinchimwa. But